This is the Lenovo Legion Go, one of the coolest gaming platforms I've had the pleasure of owning. It has a nice big 2560 by 1600 display that runs up to 144 Hz, has 16 gigs of RAM, and has a few tricks up its sleeve. So let's get into it. First, let's talk specs. So it comes in two models, 512 gigs and 1 terabyte. The 512 gig is $699, and the 1 terabyte model is $749.99. Each model has an 8.8-inch 144 Hz WQXGA screen with an AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme, 16 gigs of RAM, and if you want to expand your storage, you can do so using the microSD card slot. In addition, you have two USB-C ports, one on the top, one on the bottom. I will say the one on the bottom is a little weird functionally speaking, especially if you have it sitting on a table using the kickstand. It's just not really accessible. But speaking of the kickstand, that's one of the really cool features of this. It is an absolutely solid kickstand. It's made of metal, it has really great hinges, and you have a lot of different angle options there. As far as the software is concerned, you are running a full Windows installation. It does ship with Legion Space software. It does organize all of the games installed on your system, as well as all your gaming platforms. And you have a really cool settings button. So if you click on that, you have different performance settings. You can change your fan speed. Then you have general settings like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, volume and brightness, your resolution, refresh rate. You have quick system settings. You can easily connect this to an external display and set that as primary. So as soon as you plug in a display, it'll make that the primary display. And you have a frame monitor. So when you're in game, you can see your CPU, GPU, your VRAM, battery fan, FPS. You can keep an eye on everything that's happening with your device. Back to the outside of the device, you have volume buttons on the top, your power button. You have all your usual controls, though there are some quirks there that we'll get into in a second. You have your thumbsticks, your D-pad. Everything feels really solid. I haven't had any problems with drift or anything like that. You have this really nice touchpad control, which is a cool feature. So now to that quirk I mentioned. So if you look at the left side of your controllers, the buttons that you normally control with your middle and ring finger are easily accessible. They're in the normal place. But if you switch over to the right side, you see that they're not. They're in a very awkward position, and you can't really get to them with those two fingers unless you just kind of contort like this, I guess. But I think there's actually a really good reason for that, and that's where there's a trick up the Legion Go's sleeve. See, if you push these buttons down here at the bottom, you can actually release the left controller and the right controller. You take your right controller, hit this little FPS switch on the bottom, magnetically lock it into this little hockey puck, and now you have a mouse. And that is pretty stinking cool. So essentially, if you want to play desktop style FPS games, you can now do it. This was absolutely amazing, like a game changer, and makes way more sense than trying to carry this thing around with like a, I don't know, like a 3/4 keyboard and a mouse. Like, I can now just take this places and play my FPSs without much trouble. Now, I will say, because of the angle you have to hold the controller at, the mouse, it is a little bit awkward at first, but you get used to the pistol grip actually pretty fast. And because this is a full Windows PC, you can do everything you would do with a laptop or a desktop PC for the most part. In fact, if you head over to my video production channel, you'll see I just posted a video where I edited an entire project on this thing, which is kind of crazy. What's even crazier is that it rendered my final video faster than my M1 Pro MacBook Pro. I was super surprised by this, did a little research, and turns out that the Z1 Extreme CPU that's inside of the Legion Go actually outperforms the M1 Pro. So good for you, Lenovo, and kind of embarrassing for you, Apple, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else I can say about this thing. It's just freaking sweet. I would highly recommend this if you're in the market for a handheld gamer. It has a massive touchscreen, 144 Hz great resolution, really sturdy kickstand, and really unique features that you're not gonna find on anything else. So if you want to check it out for yourself, I'll put a link in the description below. And while you're down there, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any cool tech reviews in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.